92.5 FM.
All right. The new drug today is one word. I only got one word for you. Rumble.
That's
In
right.
this city, when you say the word rumble, that's all you got to say. Chapter 2 of the 2025 Rumble. JU and UNF. Now, it's an 8 o'clock start because there's a women's game here. Eastern Kentucky and UNF played the women's game beforehand. But rumble is the only word you need to know. By the way, if you're watching on the stream, how good is that shot?
That's great.
Isn't that fantastic? So if you're watching on the stream, you get a pretty good look at us. So today is a Rumble. We are glad to be here. We are glad to be at the Rumble, and so we're excited about a little basketball. We'll set the scene for you. We're going to have our friend Matthew Driscoll is going to join us in about 4 minutes. He's going to join. Guy needs a nap. So instead of last time we had 4:20, he waited on he's already had the eggs.
Yep.
He told me, but he wants to get the nap.
We did kind of throw his routine off.
There's no question. There's no question. And so
an hour on game day, that's significant.
So we're going to go 4:05, and he's going to do the nap afterwards.
That's great.
So he's doing just in about 4 minutes on the program. The Jags continue to interview GMs, John Eric Sullivan, today. So you know now they've announced the second interview for 3. They had Josh Williams yesterday. They had Ian Cunningham yesterday. And they had John Eric Sullivan today. 2 more to go. They'll interview Ethan Waugh, obviously, and James Gladstone. I don't know the schedule, but I know those 2. They're going to interview those 2. I would imagine one more today or tonight, and then one tomorrow.
That's what I would think.
Yeah, I don't know. But
I mean, honestly, the Ethan Waugh in person,
Yeah.
I mean, that could have happened 4 days ago.
Yeah.
I mean,
well, that's right. That's right.
Yeah.
I think it's going to happen in this stretch. That's a good point, though. They could have done it any time because he lives here. That's a very good point. So, but we know one. We do know James Gladstone, according to what we've been told, will get one either tonight or tomorrow, and then they do hope to complete them by Friday or by tomorrow, and then you'll know who the. And then my guess is, and I don't know this, but again, we've said it all along. With the combine starting on Monday, I would guess they're going to pick a guy pretty quick. I would guess.
Yeah, I mean,
I would guess the. I'm assuming when the last one's over tomorrow. Let's put our heads together. Who do we like? Let's go. I would imagine that's how it's going to go.
I would think it would move very fast, and frankly, it needs to. I mean, again, some of these clubs have been working on their plan now for, almost 2 full months, or certainly 6-7 weeks. If it's a team that didn't make the playoffs, that didn't have any significant change in terms of GM or coach, then then they're well on their way to knowing what they want to get accomplished. And so they're definitely behind. Now, does that mean you're not going to have a great offseason? No, it doesn't mean that. But it certainly makes it a challenge to get up to speed with the kind of vision everybody has for where they want to go with this club. So, yeah, I mean, it's going to be basically you're hired, get on the plane to Indy,
right?
And it's not going to be a, hey, let's put on music and, chill on our way to Indy. I'm assuming that'll basically be all work, flying up there because they need to take advantage of every second now.
Yeah, I would imagine whoever gets this job is going to be, you're right, on high alert. That I would, and I don't even know this, but I'm even wondering if they told all the interviewees, hey, look, if you get this, be prepared to go to Indy right away with us. I would imagine. Again, I don't know the planning, but logic would tell you that they've told all 5 of them, hey, listen, one of you is getting hired, and as soon as we decide that, be prepared. You think Shad's plane goes? If it's not Ethan, you think Shad's plane goes and picks him up?
Absolutely. Honestly, if they're blown away by, obviously with 3 of them, they've let them come and go. But let's just say James Gladstone ends up being their guy, as you predicted, then maybe you just don't let him leave. Maybe it's like, okay, we're ready.
That could be too.
We're ready to get this done. So, it's going to be interesting.
All right, so we'll talk a lot about the Jaguar GM search. We'll continue to talk about that. A lot to do. Lee Smith joins us at 4:40 as we get closer and closer to the players. All kind of fun stuff going on. Hockey game tonight. But when you say the word Rumble, it only means one thing. UNF plays host to JU, 8 o'clock tonight. Our friend Matthew Driscoll's already had the eggs, has not had the nap yet, but he joins us now on the program. Matthew, how are you, man?
Frank, I'm doing well, my friend. Let me ask you a question before we get going down this pipeline. There's obviously a lot going on. Yep. What's your take as a fan, not as a media guy? Yep. So you're a Florida grad, I think 1980, something like that. What's your take as a grad or as a fan about the spring games pretty much going to go by the wayside. Everybody's going to cancel them.
Yeah, I hate canceling spring games. I love as a fan. You asked me as a fan. I love them. I live for them. I love learning more about the team. I hate the thought of no spring game. I hate the thought that anyone's going to get rid of their spring game. So I think it's awful. I think.
Well, it's coming down the pike. Texas, USC, Nebraska, Florida State. I mean, if all those guys are doing it,
yep.
And some of the reasoning is so differentiating. Like Nebraska came right out and said, we just don't want our guys poached. But then other people were saying injury and longevity. And yesterday you were talking about 16 teams going into the playoffs.
Right.
And so I'm just curious, how that, from an alumni standpoint or from whatever that looks like, what they'll do to offset that, to bring those people there, because it's really part of that too, right?
Yeah. Listen, here's my take. I'm a diehard football fan, but other than the portal stuff, I think your sport kind of has it right. 68 teams go. You're never going to leave home the national champion. Everybody from every conference has a chance of winning that thing. I think the NCAA tournament's the best thing going. I love the way the payouts work. I think football, and I love football, Matthew, I think it's all screwed up. I think college football, the way they manage college football is all screwed up. And I love it. And I'll watch every, me, on Saturday I'll watch 20 games, right? So I'm a hypocrite, but I think it's all screwed up. Every bit.
So hey, let me tell you something though. But you might be a hypocrite, but you sure are on point on Sundays. You do a really nice job. I enjoy listening to you. So you may be a hypocrite on that other part on college football, but you do a great job on Sundays.
Well, I appreciate it, man. You're too kind. So, all right. Hey, let's get to this. I ask you this all the time. But, and listen, it's not like Lipscomb and Stetson games don't matter. They all matter. But I get pumped up when JU and UNF are playing. I got pumped up last time. I'm pumped up. Still works that way. Even after all these years, JU UNF still kind of does it for you, doesn't it?
100%. It's obviously a great game for the city. I think it's a great game for our alum. I think it's a great game for media because it gives you guys something else to talk about, whether it be draft status or coaching change or GM or all those. I think it gives us an opportunity to kind of take a step back, go back to some roots of, there's no college football, there's no spring game, there's none of that kind of stuff. So in March Madness is always usually about 2 weeks away, 3 weeks away from at least the second part of this. And then there's a lot of 1 year over at JU. We won our second championship. The game came down to that particular game in the year. And so tonight, of course, seeding is so critical in our tournament because the home seed gets the best games. And so there's just so much at stake. And I've always said to you, it reminds me of Carolina and Duke in the sense that we're very, very close, but also, too, there's much, much more at stake as far as the A-Sun's concerned. And I think the city, they really do a good job with Florida, Georgia, obviously, and rightfully so. But I think they do a really good job. I think you guys do a really good job. I think both marketing teams do a really good job. Like, it's going to be a really special, loud, enthusiastic from both sides of the fence night. And there'll be stars in town. There'll be celebrities at the game. There'll be Jags at the game. And there'll be some different, the national anthem. It's going to be, I don't know if I'm allowed to say who it is, but it's going to be a nationally known a person who got virally successful during a hurricane. And so it's just, there's a lot to it.
Yeah, without a doubt, we can't wait. Matthew, in terms of the first meeting, which you guys obviously won, what were some things that you were pleased with your club that need to carry over to tonight's matchup?
Being up 25.
That's a good call.
Someone actually asked me, Coach, would you rather be up that much? And then, of course, that JU's not going to quit. No one's going to quit. Stetson didn't quit at our place when we were up and the other night and then, of course, the other day. And so, would you rather be up 25 or would you rather be a team that's down and then coming back and making the whatever? And I'm like, come on, man. Like, are you kidding me? But the thing I really loved, and after watching the game, what you do, and Frank, I don't know exactly how you do it in your industry when you're preparing, but when you go back and watch it again, you're moving on to the next one, so you move on. When I went back and watched it, I thought to myself, okay, we left this on the table. We left this on the table. Maybe we can do a better job in this. Let's do a better job in this. And then you start looking at those different nuances and a couple of those tendencies or tweaks that you want to go at. And then, of course, they're doing the same thing. And so, do they offset themselves, or do they continue to do what they do and you do what you do, and then those things become whatever? And so when I look back at it, and then the last couple games, we've held the last two opponents to 70.5 points a game, and we're rebounding the ball at a much higher level. So it doesn't really matter when you decide to start defending or rebounding. What matters is that you do it in enough time that you can present yourself in the tournament. And, of course, we all know it's a one-bid league, and those 3 games in that week are the most critical 3 games of the year. So how can we put ourselves in a better position, even mentally in a better position? So, yeah, those are the things I think from a rebounding standpoint, and also, too, I think, if you remember now, we had way too many turnovers, and we were such a low turnover team at the time. We were one of the best in the country. And so I think those two things, defending and rebounding, turning the ball over and rebounding, I think are the two things that we've really honed in on the most.
Matthew, you've got to play, not just you, the league, but you got to play 6 games in 15 days. That's a lot of games. I guess the schedule's got to be that way because your tournament's early. I understand that, but
yeah.
what kind of doesn't that wear on your guys? 6 games in 15 days.
Well, yes. Number one. Number two, it's the first time we've done it with this format, and it is what it is. It's what the coaches voted on to do. They did it because they wanted to have a little bit more in the back end, because we usually end on a Friday and start the tournament on a Monday. And so this year we're going to end on a Wednesday. And so it is what it is. But I do think the guys would rather play than not. I think they'd rather play than have a day off or even have practice, in between. I think they'd rather play, more consecutively. But like with both of us, JU and us, we both traveled for 3 straight games. Some people think that even though you're in your state, it's not as bad. They think if you're just playing in Florida, you're playing in Florida, but Fort Myers is a whole lot further, which is what we're going to do on Monday. You're talking about a 6, depending on traffic, hour trip. And so it's just something, Frank, that I think we'll revisit. I'll be curious to see how many coaches, once we've gone through it, think that this is great. But I will say this. Playing on that Sunday, I believe we are the second ticket to get punched. It is one of the most electrifying weeks you could possibly ever have for your university. And so I think we got to make sure that we protect that Sunday game, whatever that looks like.
Yeah, great point. Matthew, what stands out about Robert McCray for JU? What makes him such a challenge?
He's one of those guys that he plays the game on both ends of the floor really well. And because he's able to, as a strong left-hander, he's able to play both sides of the floor and go to the rim with either hand, finish well with either hand, and then, of course, have that threat at 6'3" to shoot over you from the three-point line. To me, that kind of a person, and I know a lot of people want to compare him to Jazz Lanier and have asked me about that particular scenario because of the size and the ability to score. Because of that, be able to go both hands and then, of course, be able to rise up. Then the other thing about him is, he can really defend. He's got great length, great strength. Obviously, he played at Wake Forest and so ACC-type athlete. And so because of those, I think we put all those together. I think there's going to be a couple teams here tonight. There was a couple teams, I think, the other night when they played at Florida Gulf Coast. And I know different people throughout the season, they all, following up to us with Chaz, of course. And then, of course, they always ask about him as well. And so, I think he's on somebody's draft board here or there or whatever, but he has those abilities on both ends of the floor. And so I think he's going to get a chance.
Matthew, final thing, you got great balance. You got 5 guys that's scoring in double figures. Josh plays around the basket, but the rest of them can all bomb threes. Obviously, everybody knows your team knows that. What's the key for you tonight? What's the real key for you against this JU team tonight?
Well, I think the one main thing, Frank, and I know maybe from our era, maybe this doesn't resonate as well, but in the new era, I think it does. I think the first thing is, these guys got to understand what this environment's going to look like and sound like and all those kind of things. JU's one thing, but you're on the road. This is a home environment with, 4,000 or 5,000 people. And so Josh obviously has never played in anything like that before. Josiah and Jalen, the other ones you were talking about, of course, they had last year, but they were just freshmen and didn't really know anything except whatever Chaz and Dorian told them. And then Liam never played in an environment like this before. So that would be the first thing, making sure that we understand that it is the next game, that it is that we have that kind of mindset or mentality. And then the second thing is, and I know people don't like this, and it's okay, but we've had success because of it. Don't ever be embarrassed. Do what you do. Don't let what you can't do get in the way with what you can. And so don't let anybody talk you into anything else. If you're open, let it fly. If you're not, find the next guy. That was pretty good. If you're open, let it fly.
Yeah.
If you're not, find the next guy. That's pretty good. I'm gonna write that down. But I think that's really important, because I think sometimes, you listen too much, or you don't. So I think those two things from a mental standpoint are really critical. And then lastly, whoever wins the class is most likely gonna win the game. And it usually comes down to that anyways. But we've done a great job. We've gotten so much better. So I'm really excited about that aspect tonight.
JU and UNF, the Rumble tonight here at the UNF Arena. Matthew Driscoll, the terrific head coach and a good friend from UNF. Go get your nap, man. Go get your nap.
Listen, go get with Chad and tell him that Coach is buying you a Duval donkey.
Okay, you know what? I see him right now, and that's exactly what I'm going to do.
It's made with brackish. It's made with brackish and vodka. So just listen to me. Just tell him, say, Chad Drift said it's on his tab. I need a Duval donkey, because when you're doing your Sunday show, he's doing his Sunday show talking about this Duval donkey. So I want you to have one.
I'm going to do exactly that. Matthew, thanks, buddy. See you tonight.
All right,
we
baby.
appreciate it.
Thank you.
Matthew Driscoll, the UNF basketball coach. What a fun dude he is. And by the way, you see Chad every Sunday.
Oh, he's fantastic.
You see Chad.
He runs tailgaters.
He's here, and then he's on tailgaters. And I see the tweet, you and me knocking him back.
Yeah.
I see that.
Yeah,
I'm not missing those.
Best part.
A little jealous maybe, but I'm not missing that. All right, let's set the scene for you today. Lee Smith from the Players Championship, the executive director, joins us in about 20 minutes. He'll be here by phone at 4:40. That thing's right around the corner, boy. I'm getting excited about that. Lee Smith from the Players at 4:40. Nick Morrow, the AD from UNF at 5 o'clock. When we come back, let's talk a little bit about the NFL. Let's talk a little bit about this GM search. All coming up in a bit. We're live from UNF on a Stanley Pools Thursday. 10XL and 92.5 FM.
The Frangie Show from the Harrell and Harrell studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
Frank Frangie here. These days, it's hard to know which companies to trust. But when it comes to banking, I trust South State Bank. South State truly values its customers, and they work hard to create meaningful, lasting relationships. I love going into my local branch. I see the same smiling faces I've seen for years. South State is the largest bank headquartered in Florida, so they're able to offer all the banking services you need. You can trust South State Bank. Banking forward. Member FDIC. Equal housing lender.
Follow the JU Dolphins on 1010XL.
It's Fins Up and Swoop. River City Rumble Part 2. JU-UNF. Tonight at 8 on 1010 AM.
Frank Frangie here for Stanley Pools. If you're dreaming of putting in a pool this year, choosing the right company is the most important decision you'll make. I've trusted Stanley Pools to build my pool, renovate my pool, and maintain my pool. Stanley Pools has been the best in the business since 1988, and they're still family-owned. Call them today at 904-269-7277 or find them online at StanleyPoolsFL.com. That's Stanley Pools, a family tradition of fine swimming pools.
Don't miss the Players Championship, March 11th through 16th at TPC Sawgrass. This can't-miss event features a variety of activities for every fan to enjoy, from delicious bites to the Sawgrass Splash. There are endless fan enhancements that will make for a memorable experience. Plus, watch the top PGA Tour players, including back-to-back champion Scottie Scheffler, take on the iconic stadium course featuring the famous Island Green. Tickets available at theplayers.com.
This is Daytona, the awe-inspiring spectacle of Supercross, and the most challenging course to witness the air-catching, adrenaline-pumping, heart-pounding action unlike any other race in Florida. Daytona Supercross. The biggest names battle it out under the lights at the World Center of Racing. Don't miss it. The gate drops Saturday, March 1st. Secure your tickets and trackside access today at DaytonaInternationalSpeedway.com.
HVAC system not doing its job? Don't panic. Call the pros at Duck Rooter Plumbing, Septic, and Air Conditioning. Dial 904-862-6769 now and let our friendly team handle the dirty work so you don't have to.
Start your Saturday with a whiff of the great outdoors.
Captain Kevin Favor here with Captain Kirk and Jeff Lagerman, and we bring you the fresh air of the great outdoors.
On the Nimnit Outdoors Show, presented by Duck Rooter Plumbing, Septic, and Air Conditioning on 1010XL.
Our slogan, Know Before You Blow, applies to more than just DUI cases. Hi, I'm attorney Lee Lockett of Lockett Law. Battery charges can result in jail time and criminal convictions too, so know before you blow a gasket and hit a loved one or a stranger. Drug crimes like possession of marijuana and cocaine will land you in cuffs too, so know before you blow. In a boating under the influence case, you also have the option to blow or not to blow. So know your options. Know before you blow. Go to knowbeforeyouBlow.com now. Offices Jacksonville.
I'm here with Clayton Bromberg of Underwoods. Clayton, you talk a lot about a diamond's cut grade. Why is a diamond graded for cut?
Frank, that's simple. We cut grade diamonds to show a measurement of beauty and light return to the person looking at the diamond so they can understand the value difference between a diamond cut for maximum beauty and one cut for maximum weight. Now, it gets a little more complicated when you find out that the American Gem Society Laboratory actually assigns performance grades and proportion grades using patented computer software and grades for polish and symmetry using a microscope. The end result of cut grading is a final grade that can go from a 0 or ideal to a 10, which is poor. Each of these grades are priced a little differently. That's why you can see a diamond with a fine color and clarity priced low, particularly on the internet, because a trained gemologist won't buy it for resale because of the poor cut. Unfortunately, these type deals aren't good deals. They're bad deals for the unknowing customer.
Underwoods in San Marco, Avondale, and the shops of Ponte Vedra.
Hi, I'm Kayla, a proud parent of my daughter Skylar, who's a part of Best Buddies. The Players is proud to partner with Best Buddies to promote inclusive living and friendship here in Northeast Florida. 19 days until the Players Championship.
Attention skilled electricians. Are you undervalued at your current company? Time to step up to the bigger projects and better opportunities. Join the team at Miller Electric Company, a trusted name in the industry for over 96 years. At Miller, we tackle the biggest projects in the city, offering not just a job, but an experienced, top-notch pay, unbeatable benefits, and the best working environments in the business. Please join the team that values your skills and rewards your hard work. Elevate your career to new heights. Apply today at millercareers.com, an equal opportunity employer.
This Black History Month profile is brought to you by McGowan Spinal Rehabilitation Center. Known better by his nickname Truck, Brains High School legend Leonard Robinson used his rugged body and intelligent playmaking to become one of the game's best forwards in the 70s and 80s. Following a dominant career at Tennessee State University, Robinson was taken by the Washington Bullets in the second round of the '74 NBA draft. During his time in the league, he would average 16 points per contest to go along with 9 rebounds and was named an All-Star twice.
Transform your bathroom with stunning shower glass from Sky Glass Solutions in Jacksonville Beach. For a free quote, call 904-608-5151 or visit skyglasssolutions.com.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555, Jacksonville.
It's a Stanley Pools Thursday on The Frangie Show. Since 1988, the experts in pools, pavers, screen enclosures, it's Stanley Pools.
We do thank our friends from Stanley Pools. Greg Stanley, Liz, Kim, all the people over there do such a fantastic job. We trust them. They've been building our pools and taking care of my pool forever. You can trust them as well. Since 1988, they've been the team in Jacksonville to take care of all your pool needs. Stanley Pools, that's the name that everybody in town knows. I can assure you that. All right, we're going to talk golf in about 15 minutes. Lee Smith from the Players Championship joins us in. In the meantime, we'll talk a little bit about the coaching search, the GM search. Here's what we know. Yesterday, it was Josh Williams, who currently works for San Francisco, and Ian Cunningham, who currently works for the Bears. They were in town. The team announced their interviews. By the way, I want to ask Baselli if he gets paid extra for the pictures.
Yeah.
Because he's in every picture now.
Also, does he get to approve the picture?
Because he's got the walk going. He's got it's the same walk.
Right.
So I've definitely got to find out if Baselli has.
He's also
is there a
quite a
royalty?
bit bigger than these GM candidates, I've noticed.
But every picture is Baselli walking with them. So, but the team's done a good job of distributing letting us know who's been through. John Eric Sullivan today from the Packers is the most recent interview. So 3 have interviewed. Again, we know James Gladstone and Ethan Wall will both interview. I don't know which order. I'm going to assume Gladstone only because they brought the 3 guys from out of town so far. So I'm going to assume the 4th out of town guy today. I'm guessing, but I don't know.
And I would think Watt's done. I would think.
Well,
I don't know that you have to announce
Yeah.
that you've completed an interview with a guy that already works for you.
Yeah.
I mean,
Good
obviously,
point.
you don't have to do any of it.
Yeah.
But my point is, the in-house guy, I would think would be done. But we'll see.
My guess is they said 5 in 3 days, so they may, whether part of it's done or not, I'm going to guess they're going to interview him today or tomorrow. We'll see. But either way, I do get the sense.
I don't understand why he would be last.
And
I
could be wrong. I don't know. I don't know. So, but having said all that, what we do know is all of them will be done by tomorrow, and I do get the hunch that you'll know. My guess is the news will be announced. I'm going to guess over the weekend, and again, I'm guessing, but I just can't imagine that they'll go into next week with people not knowing who the general manager is. So I would have guessed it's going to be announced over the weekend. I will tell you, you and I both made our very bold predictions yesterday with nothing to go on other than gut, which is the most fun kind of predictions. Hays said he thinks it'll be Ian Cunningham. I said I think it'll be James Gladstone. But let me again, I'm joking aside. This isn't like we're getting these inside tips. This is just reading the tea leaves, finding out what we can, putting together, okay, well, he was coach-centric, and we really don't know. And so, I believe this, and I believe this in my heart, and I've said it all along, and I'll stand by this. They're interviewing 5 guys. I think if any of the 5 blow them away, I think these interviews matter. I don't think this is perfunctory. I don't think they're going through the motions. Don't think for a minute, well, they know they're going to hire, but I don't believe that. I think these 5 interviews, I think if someone comes and knocks their socks off in this interview, if any of the 5, that guy might get the job. I mean, I really believe that, Hays. I don't think these are perfunctory interviews. I really don't.
No, and that's how it should be. I mean,
yes, of course it is.
You should want this. This portion should carry the weight. We have a 4-hour session. We've already met virtually a week or 10 days ago, so we already have a pretty good feel for you. You have a pretty good feel for us. Now let's get to the nitty-gritty. What's the plan? What's your evaluation of where we are? Where would you take it? And I would imagine they all have, how could you not have your own unique approach? So they may have some commonalities, but my guess is, particularly the 4 outside guys, it's probably like a fingerprint. They're all probably 4 fairly distinct plans, even if there's certain agreements on, well, I would keep Christian Kirk. Well, so would I, that kind of thing. So I think I think it is hard to predict. We're going off of, like you mentioned, the front offices these guys are coming from. Is it coach-centric? For Cunningham, it's the fact, not really that what he's done with the Bears. It's the fact that he's been with, arguably, if you want to be physical, if being physical is paramount for where the Jaguars are going, it'd be tough to go against somebody who spent many years with the Ravens and many years with the Eagles.
Very good point.
Because those 2 are probably the most physical teams that this league has had over the last decade. So, we'll just see. But, yeah, interviews can be blown. We know that in any walk of life. So, and interviews can sizzle. So it'll really, really probably come down to that, as it should. You wouldn't base it now on being, blown away by a virtual interview 10 days ago.
Yeah, by the way, very good point about the physicality. Ian Cunningham has been on teams that play it a very physical way, and the Jags say that's what they want to be. So yeah, so who knows? Maybe that's what puts him over the top. maybe the fact that Gladstone's been with McVay. I keep coming back to that in my mind.
Right.
That McVay, they seem to want to be the Rams.
Well, the whole Jaguars offseason has been a love letter to Sean McVay.
It really has.
And that's not a criticism.
No, it's
just a fact.
It's actually a very good model.
Yeah.
If you're going to pick a model, pick that model.
I mean, they've won a Super Bowl there. It looked like they were falling backwards, and that didn't last long. They were down for about a year, and then they came right back through great drafting once they were getting their draft stock replenished. After many years of trading away premium picks, including 2 to the Jaguars for Jalen Ramsey. The Rams are a fine organization to model yourself after. But certainly Gladstone has a chance because it has basically been, I think if the Jaguars could have figured out a way for Sean McVay to coach the Jaguars on the side, then that may have worked. But yeah, it's been a love letter. And final step in that would be James Gladstone getting the GM job.
Yeah, so we'll know again. 3 have been here. Gladstone and Waugh, they have not announced the interviews. Them, and again, I'm just looking forward to. Forget who the GM is. That's kind of important. I'm just looking forward to the last 2 Baselli pictures. I just want to see if they look. Maybe they should put all 5 of them up together. All 5 of the Baselli pictures up together. So we'll see what happens. But again, they're interviewing 5 guys, and again, I think we'll know.
Well, here's what I would say: if it comes down to them having to get past Baselli, to get the job, then the Jaguars may not have a GM this year.
They're going to go with that one.
Because from the pictures I've seen so far, Baselli's pancaking these guys.
Yeah, and by the way, not only that, though, but if they want to play pickup basketball, they're not winning that either. Okay,
No.
He's taking that stuff out. Okay,
Yes.
So exactly right. Take that weak stuff home. So we'll know tomorrow. We'll know over the weekend. I think, and again, they haven't said that. I'm just common sense tells me you're going to the combine next week. I would think you have to have a.
Yeah, well, and there is the deadline.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's right.
I think they're
a week
8
away.
days away or
right.
something like that. I mean, again, they'll make the hire in the next 48 hours. You're going to know who the Jaguars GM is, unless there is some massive snafu,
right?
Where their prime candidate gets cold feet at the 11th hour and they have to scramble.
Yeah.
But I'd be shocked if that happens.
Yeah. And
so, I would think in the next 48 hours you're going to have a hire and then it's going to be all systems go.
Right. And I will say one more time on this, if you're talking to people who say, hey, here's who has the job, here's who's ahead, here's here's the leading track, it's his job to turn down, they're full of crap. Okay, so I'll say that again. If any reporter, national reporters, I think Jordan Schultz is one of the ones. I'm not knocking Jordan Schultz, but I'm just saying nobody knows until they interview these 5 guys. So anything you've read or heard about, hey, Joe Blow's got the inside track. Hey, it's his to turn down. Hey, he's the one they wanted all along. It's not true. That person could wind up with the job, but it's not. I'm telling you, it's not true. I believe in all my heart. It's about the first wave of interviews too, which got everybody to this wave, but it really is about that. And so we'll see. I think we'll know sooner rather than later. All right, we'll take a break. Let's get into golf. The Players Championship right around the corner. When we come back, our friend Lee Smith, the executive director of the Players, joins us. This is 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
It's the ride home with the Frangie Show from the Harrell and Harrell studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
Happy New Year from everyone at Nimnick Buick GMC. And as we begin 2025, Nimnick is excited to offer even more choices and better prices for you, ensuring your car buying experience is second to none. If you're wondering where to go for a better buying experience, it's simple. Nobody but Nimnick. Here's to another year of driving forward together. Looking for a better used car shopping experience? Well, you'll find it at Nimnick Buick GMC, Jacksonville's only Car Bravo certified dealership. Now with Car Bravo at Nimnick, you'll get transparent pricing, the best value on your trade, and peace of mind. Now is the best time to shop certified used vehicles and buy with confidence. And man, you get all the makes and models: Honda, Toyota, Kia, Mazda, Ford. That's right, all makes, all models. Trading in your old vehicle? Don't forget who gives you top dollar for your trade. Nobody but Nimnick. So shop online at NimnickBuickGMC.com or visit their showroom off Phillips Highway. GMC, we are professional grade.
What's happening, folks? E.T. here, and get out of the house and crush those New Year's resolutions on the beautiful trails of Clay County. With perfect weather, Now's the time to explore Jennings State Forest, Mike Rose Gold Head State Park, and Belmore State Forest. And after your hike, refuel at one of Clay's local favorites, like Dalton's Sports Grill or the Corner Pocket. Clay is my home, so I can promise you my people will take care of you. Trust me, just visit exploreclay.com and share those adventures at #ExploreClay.
Southeast Orthopedic Specialist is now offering ortho walk-in appointments. If you have an immediate need for orthopedic care, contact Southeast Orthopedic Specialist immediately. Avoid ERs and urgent care waiting rooms. For more information, go to se-ortho.com.
Relieve pain and get back to life. Southeast Orthopedic Specialist.
I'm here with Danny Van Sickle, Director of the Electrical Training Alliance. Danny, tell me about your program.
Hey, Rick, we're a 4-year electrical apprenticeship. Our students start out making over $40,000 a year, and right now make over $90,000 a year, including benefits. There is no tuition or student debt. You just have to apply and get accepted.
Did you say no tuition and no student debt?
You heard that right, Rick. Once you're accepted to the program, your only cost for the books and the course fees. About $800 a year.
That sounds like an amazing opportunity. How can I learn more?
Just go to etajax.org, and you can apply there.
Apply by May 15th.
I'm Rick Julius, a partner at Cordell & Cordell. Divorce is more than just a legal process. It's a life-changing event that can impact your future, finances, and your relationship with your children. You've worked hard to build a life that you're proud of, and you deserve a legal partner who will work just as hard to protect it.
Offices in Jacksonville. Schedule an appointment with one of Cordell & Cordell's attorneys. Lisa Cargis, Florida resident partner. Rick Julius, licensed in Pennsylvania only. Online at CordellCordell.com.
Get more Gators with Dan Hickett and me, Frank Frangie, on all things Gators on 1010XL Gators Podcast, with new episodes every Monday, brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists, wherever you find podcasts and at 1010XL.com.
Homeowners, listen up. It's time to start fresh in 2025. Prosser here, and Loan Pronto is here to help take control of your finances in 2025 by lowering your house payments and consolidating that nagging debt. Did you know that 9 out of 10 borrowers get a better deal by calling Loan Pronto? Right now, Loan Pronto has some of the most competitive offers for refis, debt consolidation, and purchase loans, starting in the low 5s APR. If your current rate is over 6%, don't settle for paying too much. Even if you're in process with another lender, call Loan Pronto now. Lock in at a lower rate today and close in as little as 2 weeks, often with no appraisal. You can even skip your next 2 house payments. It's fast, easy, and hassle-free. Get your personalized Loan Pronto rate quote instantly with no hard credit pull and no upfront fees. Call now, 904-999-1508, or go to loanpronto.com. That's 904-999-1508. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval, NMLS consumeraccess.org.
Why pay more for prescriptions? Stop overpaying and start saving with SingleCare. It's easy. Find your prescription on singlecare.com, show the coupon at the pharmacy, and start saving. SingleCare works at pharmacies nationwide and is completely free to use, whether you have insurance or not. So the next time you fill a prescription, check SingleCare to make sure you're getting the best price. Take control of your prescription costs. Go to singlecare.com or download the free app today.
To get this thing unwrapped here.
Praz, what in the world are you doing working on your Duval?
That's right, man. I really identify with Duval.
You live in St. John's County, knucklehead.
I mean the Duval sub, the Daily Stash Duval. Turkey, ham, melted cheddar, and habanero jack cheeses. Lettuce, tomato, crispy and fresh, you know, like me. I'm sure there's a Daily Stash sub that sums you up.
The boss.
Because, of course.
Oven roasted beef, monster cheese, roasted mushrooms, caramelized onions. It's the boss of all subs. Only available for me.
That's just not true.
What do you mean? I walked in the other day, screamed, "You know it!" and said, "A boss for a boss."
Well, no matter who you are, there is a Daily Stash sandwich or sub for you.
Go find yours. They may even make you a boss.
I'm sure they will, because it is Daily Stash.
Where more is better.
And you got that right.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
It's a Stanley Pools Thursday on The Frangie Show. Since 1988, the experts in pools, pavers, screen enclosures, it's Stanley Pools.
All right, we appreciate our friends from Stanley Pools, Frank Frangie, Hays Carlyon. We're live from UNF as the second Rumble gets underway tonight. UNF playing host to JU. Right around the corner is the Players' Championship every Thursday. Lee Smith is the executive director there. Joins us now on the program. Lee, how we doing, man?
Doing very well. Hey, excited to follow the game tonight. I actually spoke with President Koss this morning, so he was telling me a little bit about the excitement for tonight's game. Look forward to checking it out.
Yeah, he's a wonderful guy too, Tim Kyle. Tim was on the program last week, and he's a good man. So, by the way, speaking of guys that follow stuff closely, you've been telling us about Ludwig Oberg for a while now. Obviously, he's really good. He just won. What'd you see in him? Why did you and other golf experts know ahead of the game that he was going to be that good?
You know, it really, Frank. I mean, obviously, it starts with talent, speed, being able to roll it on the green, short game, all of the technical stuff. But I think what most people see in is, his disposition and kind of what you probably see as big sports fans from the football field to the basketball court. Sometimes you just see that this person has it. Yeah. And other than kind of, I think somebody equated him to a Swedish cyborg, that he was, that good looking. Like, how does somebody have everything? So I think you just saw him in the demeanor on the golf course, the way he handles the ups and downs, and then you match that with talent, and it just almost looks like a can't miss.
Without a doubt. And you would think that the stadium course would set up pretty well for him, right?
Well, certainly. You add in the stadium course sets up well for him, I think, but you add in that he's a local, lives in Nocatee. So coming out to practice and play and having this be kind of your home course currently, I think he's certainly going to become more familiar with setups and greens and that type of thing more and more on a daily basis. If it's not a contention this year, it certainly looks like it could be certainly in the future.
Hayes, you live in Nocatee. Get us the one-on-one with Ludwig, okay? You're
coming right up.
You're in charge of that, so we'll do that. Tell me about the course. How are we looking? We're getting excited. I know you're excited because I'm really excited. Of course, I guess they're getting closer, right? Right, Lee?
Absolutely. I'll tell you the from an agronomy standpoint and really a conditioning standpoint, it looks like carpet out there. And we're still 3 weeks away. So seeing the sun and having a little bit of rain only makes that turf happy. And I think all of our spectators and players, as long as we get closer, we can certainly, as we've talked about before, control the moisture that's on the golf course. And it's not controlled for us by Mother Nature, but the golf course is going to be in fantastic condition. The team over at TBC Sawgrass always does a great job, but certainly this year looks fantastic. From a hospitality standpoint, the business leaders and the support that we get from the community, and then you bring in the volunteers and you guys as media, it's second to none, and we're seeing that in momentum. Last year we sold out Saturday tickets a day in advance. This year, we've already sold out of all the suites on 17. We sold out of Friday parking. There's still some available on the secondary market, but we've sold out of Friday parking. Saturday's probably coming soon. So, to really see the embrace and the relationship that the local community has with this event is inspiring and certainly provides us that obligation to put on a good show.
Well, here's a dumb question, but I really don't know the answer to this. Do all tournaments? When we played the media thing out there a couple weeks ago, which was 5 6 weeks before the tournament, the greens were rolling about a 9, I'm going to guess. Do all tournaments roll the same? Are they all 13, 14, 12? Are they all the same speed? That's a dumb question, I know, but I really don't know that. How does that work?
No, it's a good question, Frank. You really create speed and kind of what you would call a target speed through our agronomy team and our rules team. And there's really a lot of factors to that. You think about, if for ease of comparison, you think about, maybe the British Open Rota golf courses. they can get those greens faster, but they don't want them rolling much more than 10 because of the chance that you might have 20, 25, 30-mile-an-hour winds that start moving the golf ball around. Other golf courses, whether it's wind, but it also might be a forecast of moisture, and so you want to put hole locations on high spots versus low spots if you're seeing a day that has a bunch of rain. Other golf courses, based on turf and the seasonality, really can't, get cut shorter or use rolling to speed up the greens or, those types of things. So it differs from golf course to golf course. Undulation, depending on how your greens are built, there's certain places that, when you see these guys using what's called aim point and they're holding up their fingers to decide how much break they're going to play, that's a science. But really what they've determined by doing that is they're deciding how much break the putt will have based on what they feel in their feet. And so they're feeling the grade, whether it's a 2% grade, a 1% grade. If it's a 1% grade, they hold up one finger. If it's a 2% grade, they hold up two fingers. That's kind of how they determine that. But, again, the grade can really determine how fast the greens are. You don't want to have greens that are too fast and it takes hole locations away from you. So always a delicate balance.
Yeah, absolutely. Lee, Scotty Scheffler obviously is trending well and made history last year as the first defending champion to repeat at the Players. But I'm curious, and maybe you guys have looked at this. I'm putting you on the spot a little bit. Has anybody in any massive event in golf, has anybody ever won 3 straight? I mean, maybe like old Tom Morris did it for the British Open 150 years ago, but I'm trying to think. I can't think of a Masters, U.S. Open, British in my life, PGA, and we know the Players where one man has won the event 3 straight years. Has it ever happened in any major event?
Yeah, it's a good question. I don't think at this level of event, Hays, and especially maybe in contemporary golf, I'd have to. That's a good Google for me once I get off the phone. But one thing we do know is I think the last time somebody won 3 PGA Tour events in a row was Steve Stricker, I believe, like 9, 10, and 11. Or 8, 9, and 10 at the John Deere Classic. Again, not at Players Championship or Major Championship level, but there's just an example that was at least 15 years ago before it was done at any PGA Tour event. So, having gone 50 years without a back-to-back champion, and now we have one, certainly would be exciting if Scotty's in contention coming down the stretch to win his 3rd Goldman Trophy in a row.
Yeah, you know what? I mean, that really would. I mean, of all the things that have happened at this and all the years of this event, you know what, Lee? Even having him on the leaderboard late, having him on the leaderboard Sunday, either in first or striking distance, that would be one of the. We've had some real exciting Sundays. That'd be about as exciting a Sundays we've had in a long time, wouldn't you think?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, last year, as you remember, having the U.S. Open champion, the British Open champion, and the Olympic champion all having putts on 18 to tie the number 1 player in the world and for the back-to-back championship was super exciting. But, this golf course tends to the people that are playing the best that particular week rise to the top. You got to have your A game to be there. And I think as Hays mentioned, Scotty certainly looks like he's trending that way. And certainly would be exciting and something that obviously would continue to help the trajectory of this event grow and grow and grow as it has over the first 50 years. To have a champion like Scotty and the number 1 player in the world to win 3 in a row.
All right, well, starting next week, we're going to ask you to give us some others to watch, guys to watch as we get closer and closer to it. Right now, though, we're going to start our giveaways. We have a pair of tickets to the Thursday round, plus a $25 gift certificate to Bonefish. As always, Lee, give us a number. Caller number what's going to get those that prize?
Let's go with, we were just talking 3-piece. Let's go caller number 3.
Love it. 641-1010, caller number 3. And as you know, Lee will be with us giving away something right up until the tournament, and then with us every Thursday after that as well. Lee, thanks for checking in, man. Talk to you next week. We appreciate it.
You got it. Have a great game tonight, guys.
All right, we appreciate it. Lee Smith, the executive director of the Players Championship, an all-time good guy, isn't he?
Without a doubt.
Honest to God, I've told him this, I've told you this. I could listen to him talk golf forever. I mean, just the way he explained how fast greens are, which I never knew that the British Open greens were probably only a 10, which is not super fast.
Right.
But because of the wind, you don't want them faster because it's so crazy over there. Anyways, the conditions are so. That's really good stuff, man. Honest to God, I could listen to Lee talk golf for the longest time. I think he really knows this stuff. All right, we got a giveaway. You heard it. A pair of tickets. Caller number 3. Probably lighting up JJ's phone lines right now. 641-1010. Caller 3 is getting a pair of tickets to the Thursday round, the opening round, the competitive round, and a $25 gift certificate to Bonefish. Terrific restaurant. Head to Bonefish. You'll be glad you did. All right, back to some UNF sports. We'll take a break. When we come back, our friend Nick Morrow is the AD here. He'll stop by after this. Stay with us.
The Frangie Show from the Harold and Harold studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
This is Fred Taylor.
I'm Bill Polian.
This is Daryl Johnston. 1010XL is the hottest radio on the planet.
1010XL.
1010XL.
92.5 FM.
Hey, John, have you heard about the incredible offers at Randy Marion Cadillac?
They've got rates as low as 3.9% for 36 and 48 months on the stunning 2024 Escalade.
That's right. Experience luxury like never before. Whether it's the exquisite interior or the advanced technology, every drive feels like a royal experience.
Visit Randy Marion Cadillac today on Southside Boulevard in Jacksonville.
And don't forget, Randy Marion is the king of price. Drive and indulge in luxury at Randy Marion Cadillac.
Plus tax tag title 999 admin fee with resist all and approved credit.
Staying Alive, One Night of the Bee Gees comes to Jacksonville Center for the Performing Arts March 6th. A tribute like you've never seen before. Staying Alive features the songs and sights of a full Bee Gees playlist performed live. Experience Night Fever, More Than a Woman, How Deep Is Your Love, and more live on stage. Staying Alive, One Night of the Bee Gees, March 6th at Jacksonville Center for the Performing Arts. Tickets at fscjartistseries.org.
It's game time for your business, and Advanced Business Solutions has the winning play. With Xerox copiers, you'll never miss a deadline. Fast, reliable, and built for high performance, Xerox copiers keep your team ahead of the competition. From printing to scanning, Xerox brings the MVPs of efficiency to your office. Ready to make the winning move? Hire the champions at Advanced Business Solutions. Veteran owned.
Printers, copiers, and IT management. Advanced Business Solutions.
Where on your body is the weenus? The answer next.
When you call Southern Oak and file a claim, you'll be handled by our hand-picked vendors who will analyze any roof, storm, or water damage. It'll save money for you.
Our family protecting yours. Southern Oak Insurance.
The weenus is your elbow skin and can be pinched as hard as you want, and it will never cause pain.
Southern Oak Insurance. Our family protecting yours.
I'm Hays Carlyon, and I'll give you glimpses of future NFL stars and who could be a good fit here in Jacksonville. Listen for Combine Commentary with Carlyon during the Frangie Show on 1010XL, brought to you by Kingfish Pest Control, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
The restaurant of the day is the Great Greek Mediterranean Grill. Get free hummus with purchase of 2 entrees all Thursday long, off 210 and St. John's Parkway. Order online at thegreatgreekgrill.com/St. John's. thegreatgreekgrill.com/St. John's.
Did you know your pup could take 30,000 to 60,000 steps a day at Dogtopia of Jacksonville Beach Boulevard? That's a whole lot of tail wagging fun with their best furry friends. At Dogtopia, they turn playtime into exercise, learning, and socialization in their off-leash, open play environment. Dogs build confidence, reduce anxiety, and stay happy and healthy, all while having the time of their lives. Visit Dogtopia of Jacksonville Beach Boulevard today.
Lauren Brooks here for Terminix. When pests invade your home or business, you don't just need them out, you need them out fast. And you need to keep them out. At Terminix, they'll show up for you and eliminate pests quicker, just like they did at my house, because they care about what matters most to you. When pests show up, so does Terminix. Don't live with a pest problem, Terminix it. Visit Terminix.com today to schedule a free inspection online. That's TERMINIX.com. That's right, Terminix it.
the flagship station of the Jacksonville Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
Hi, I'm Janice. I'm a coach at Awaken 180 Weight Loss. When a client reaches the goal that they've set, they are so proud of themselves. They are so thrilled with how they look and how they feel. They are ready to take on the next thing. And that's one thing about weight loss. It's so much more than a number on a scale. It's about self-respect. It's a momentum thing. Now that I've lost 50 pounds, wow, there's no reason why I can't do this next thing that initially seemed so daunting, but now I know I can do it. The celebration is not just how much better you look and feel, but how much more self-respect you have. We get on a track of success at Awaken 180 Weight Loss.
Losing weight with Awaken 180 isn't about the number on the scale. It's about how that number spearheads endless success. Bring your goals to Awaken 180, then celebrate when you check off each and every one of them. Call 844-346-1800 or online at awaken180weightloss.com.
Mia here. Since 1982, Closets by Design has specialized in creating dream spaces for every budget. My designer, Frances, made the process so easy. She came to my house and designed a beautiful walk-in closet that's already so incredibly functional for me and old Beau Valentine. Call today to schedule your free in-home consultation at 1-800-293-3744 or visit closetsbydesign.com. And take advantage of extended savings this month. Get 40% off and another 15% off with 18-month special financing.
Denny Thompson here. You got to check out Tyson's Showroom Home Theater with surround sound and comfy theater chairs. You can transform your living room into a cinematic experience. I can stay there to watch all my games. It's that comfortable. Call Tyson today and bring the theater experience home. Tyson Sound and Security, your security, home theater, and home automation experts. New showroom at 3555 U.S. Highway 17 in Fleming, Iowa.
You've got a lot on your plate. The last thing you need is car trouble. At Maxie's Mechanics, we help you keep your cars, trucks, and SUVs running safely. Visit MaxieAutoRepair.com today for honest service, reliable repairs, and peace of mind for you and your family.
I'm Max Fink here with your 1010XL Southeast Orthopedic Specialist local sports update presented by Dogtopia at Beach and St. John's Bluff. The NBA is a long 82-game season, so for a team that's dealt with injuries and gotten off track a bit, like the Magic, utilizing All-Star break is massive for the second half of the season. Ahead of their matchup with the Atlanta Hawks tonight, Magic power forward Jonathan Isaac talked about the benefits the team gets from All-Star break and how it will benefit them as they get set to make a playoff push.
I think it's just more focus, kind of just recognizing where we are and what needs to happen. And so just kind of realign. Everybody's got energy. I think we're all on the same page moving forward. So I think we're going to have a good second half of the year. Especially when you go into All-Star break not playing your best. It's like it's just an opportunity to kind of get there mentally and relax a little bit and come back recharged.
It's 52 degrees at 4:57. Time and temp brought to you by Bueller Air and Plumbing. Stay cooler with Bueller.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Hi, folks. I'm Frank Frangie. If you have a sweet tooth like me, the sweetest desserts in town come from Spoonful Bakery. Spoonful is an online bakery. They deliver boxes of assorted desserts right to your home or office. They're so good, and they make for great gifts for friends or clients. And if you want custom orders, wedding cakes or birthday cakes, or catered desserts for an event, they are the best. Log on to spoonful-bakery.com or call them at 904-515-4984. That's Spoonful Bakery for the sweetest desserts in town.
You've probably heard the saying, it's not how hard you get hit, it's whether or not you get back up. Well, I'm attorney Brett Hastings, and I have a saying of my own. If you get hit with a personal injury or wrongful death, hit back and fight to make them pay. At Hastings Injury Law, we have the experience you want if you or a loved one suffer a car or trucking accident or wrongful death. Just call 904-HIT-BACK and we'll help you get up and hit back. Office is Jacksonville.
Mia here. Do you want to know what I'm so over? Resolutions. You want to know what I am into? The revolution, hitting the road in a new Toyota from Arlington Toyota. So what do you say? Join the Arlington Toyota revolution and save big with financing as low as 0% on select new models. Or get up to $8,500 off select new Toyotas. Plus, every new Toyota purchase from Arlington Toyota comes with Arlington's lifetime warranty and 60-day exchange. Shop in person on Atlantic Boulevard, just a quarter mile east of 295, or at arlingtontoyota.com. Visit arlingtontoyota.com/0% for full details.
It's a Stanley Pools Thursday on The Frangie Show. Since 1988, the experts in pools, pavers, screen enclosures, it's Stanley Pools.
Hi, welcome back to the 5 o'clock hour of the program. Frank Frangie, Hays Carlyon, and the regular broadcast member of our show, Nick Morrow, here now. Nick's gonna be in charge of updates coming up pretty soon.
What are we doing next week? Where are we going?
How are you? Good to see you.
Good to see you too. Appreciate you being out here.
Happy to be here. The women's game is about to start, UNF and Eastern Kentucky, and then the Rumble in a couple hours. I asked Matthew this, I'll ask you this even more. You're from here. You were raised here. JU and UNF have played 44 times. It's 22-22. It's one of my favorite nights of the year. Well, two of my favorite nights of the year. What does it mean for you when this night comes around?
It's the anxiety level cranks up, when anytime this game comes around, and it's so cool because we'll have 4,000 fans in the building tonight, and people have this game circled on their calendar, and the amount of text messages and calls, and I want this ticket. Do you have any tickets left? And I love saying no. Like, I don't have any reserved tickets left. You're going to have to go upstairs in a general admission. And it's fun to be able to say that and the excitement that comes around this game. I mean, if you think about Jacksonville sports, what rivalry is like that here in town? I
don't think there is one.
Yeah.
I mean, it's certainly not at the
amazing.
This is D1 college basketball. I mean, with two schools in our city, I mean, it's remarkable. We're very lucky to have it.
Yeah, and it doesn't matter where you are in the standings.
Right.
It's always going to be a game.
Right.
It's going to be a fight, and that's what's fun about it as well.
The first game was fantastic. Now, he said, what did you like about what you did the first game? Matthew goes, go up by 25 points. Okay, so
very insightful.
But what a crazy game. And I can only imagine, we're there covering it. We like both teams. I can only imagine what those games are like for you and for Alex and for anybody on both sides, right?
Yeah, no, I really enjoyed the first half. Yeah. The first half was amazing. Yeah.
We talked at halftime.
We did.
You had a big grin on your face.
Yeah, I did.
And Nick came over with Frenette and I were there. We were hanging out.
Oh, I was dabbing all the media. I was like, man, this is a great game stuff. Now, if the roles were reversed, I don't know if you would have saw my face.
Yeah, Nick even said, listen, if it would have gone his way, I wouldn't come over.
But it's exciting, and it'll be another really, really big time game tonight. And it's interesting the way our schedule worked this year with conference, because we were both on the road on Tuesday, like 2 days ago.
Right.
So very quick turnaround to come home and then play.
Yeah.
And so I think that'll play into it a little bit.
To that end, I told Matthew both teams, this is 6 games in 15 days. Now, I know Matthew said, listen, the coaches voted for it. We can't if we can't vote for it, then complain about it.
Yeah.
But that seems kind of extreme in the regular year.
Yeah, Coach and I weren't a big fan of it, but we were outnumbered on that. And the idea was to create more rest time for the tournament itself, because when you go from the quarterfinals to semifinals, it's like a 2-day turnaround. Well, now it's a 3-day turnaround. Well, to do that, you're backing everything up, including the last 2 weeks of the regular season, and that's why regular season got scrunched up to create more room in the tournament for the high seed hosts and going different. So next year, we're going to end up moving to a neutral site. And so it'll change again, and it'll be more of a regular format.
If you guys are able to win these final 3, what do you think is best option in terms of, or best scenario for where your seed will be in the tournament?
So we have a chance still to get into that top 6 seed, which means you get that first round bye and then into the quarterfinals. Right now we're in that 7-8 game, so we would have to play Sunday at somebody else at a neutral site of the 2 seed, and then play them the next day after we win on that Sunday on that Monday. And so, you get that extra game rest, and that's important. So finishing strong. Not to mention the momentum.
Sure.
Like, you go in on a win streak.
Oh, yeah.
Like, who knows at
Particularly
that point?
with how you guys play.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, that's the last thing you want walking into your building is somebody who can make 23.
Right. Yeah. No, we're a scary team to play.
Yeah, we said that yesterday.
Yeah, we've proven we can beat anybody in the league.
Right.
Just what team's going to show up that night.
Well, and teams out of the league. You know what I mean? What UNF did to start the season on the road at South Carolina and Georgia Tech. That was. It's not like that didn't happen.
Right. Those are quad 2 wins.
Yeah. I mean, that really happened.
Still same team, same squad.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So, how do you feel about how this team's played? What's your assessment of Matthew's team this year? I asked him that. Let me ask you that.
But fortunately, we're on radio, so you can't see how many gray hairs I picked up since the start of the season.
I get it.
Like, this team has driven me nuts and added a few more gray hairs, but it's been great when they start clicking.
Yeah.
And that's what still gives you hope that they can do it. And, and Coach Driscoll, he's been in this league for 16 years. He knows what he's doing. We've been doing this high seed host for 10 years. So you get in that tournament, you go 1-0 each night, and you're dancing. So I still have a lot of hope that this team's going to make some noise in the tournament. It's going to be fun to be there because, again, leading the nation in threes and top 10 in scoring on offense, all those things are exciting brand of basketball to watch.
And some of the other sports that are just starting, what are some encouraging things that you've seen so far?
Yeah, swimming's at conference right now, and yesterday on day 1 of the swimming championships, they broke 3 school records.
Wow.
So that was pretty cool. And then track conference championships is next week, and we have a young lady named Smilla Colby who's from Germany. This is her second year with UNF. She went to NCAA finals in outdoor last year, which is really hard achievement. You got to be top 24 in your event in the entire country to get to the national championships, and she went last year. She's in position to go for indoors this year, which is even harder to do. We've never had a UNF track student athlete. We've had some good ones come through, make NCAA indoor championships, and she has that opportunity. I need to put her on a poster because she was offered to go pro last year.
Oh, wow.
She's one of the top runners in all of Germany.
Yeah.
They wanted her to stay and go pro. She said, no, I really want to go back to UNF because I enjoyed my time there. I was like, I need to put that on a poster and put that all over town. Yeah.
How does that work? I'm very ignorant of that. So if you're a really good track athlete, particularly from Europe, is that a thing? Like, hey, come out early and just like the football players do here? It's a dumb question. I really don't know much about that.
Yeah. I mean, it's obviously not as lucrative, but, that window's pretty tight.
Same thing,
for track
come out
athletes.
early.
Yeah, come out early. You got opportunities and strike while the iron's hot because she had such a good year last year. And she almost made the Olympic team. Like, she was very close to making the Olympic team.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, academically, you were saying in break that very happy with the strides you guys have made there.
Yeah, I mean, we're still just crushing it when it comes to the classroom. We had a 3.53 GPA in the fall. We had, 280 out of our 320 student athletes have a 3.0 or higher. Last spring, we won the Academic Cup for the ASUN Conference, which means you have the highest percentage of your student athletes that hit a 3.0 or higher, and you win the Academic Cup. And so, really doing well there. Super proud. It makes my job a lot easier when we have smart student athletes walking the hallways. Yeah.
Got a Power 4 win on the last day against Notre Dame.
Yeah,
Joe likes his team. I mean, he won 8-1. I mean, so that was it's a couple tough games to start, but I think that's encouraging.
Yeah, no, they earned that win too.
Yeah.
They looked the part. Watching,
that's right, they do.
Watching last year's team and then watching this year, very strong defensively, good pitching. There's some good players. I'm really excited. It was nice to actually see them compete against another team instead of just the inter squad stuff that they've been doing, since last September. Yeah.
We've talked about the House settlement. This week's kind of big news in terms of college athletics was the SEC and Big Ten continuing their partnership is probably too strong, but certainly their meetings of where they want to take college football and things like that. From your vantage point, where are we headed with college football and college athletics in general with the House settlement and things like that?
That's really what we have to watch because, what they're doing with the college football playoff and trying to get themselves 4 automatics is a little bit of a microcosm of what they want to do with every other sport, and that's what we got to keep our eye on. Right now, there's a working group that just started meeting to come up with a new governance structure under the new NCAA model. What does that look like for championship access and revenue distribution, the rules that will be in place? And then as soon as that settlement's approved on April 7th, assuming it is, there's going to be a whole new NCAA rulebook that comes out. And all this is being done at a very rapid speed, which is kind of scary too, what that's going to look like. And of course, you can go back and make adjustments as time goes along, but the idea is that they could create their own championship structure like college football playoff, like they did there, and do it for every sport. And then it's really hard to get in that top-tier championship.
Right.
Well, does that mean they create a second level of championship which isn't the worst thing in the world, because now all of a sudden, if we can get into that championship, we're not just celebrating making the tournament, but now maybe we can make a run in it because it's more like opponents. Problem, who's paying for 90 more championships? Is that coming off the top of the Power Four because under this new model? And so those are the kind of things we're keeping an eye on. We meet as ADs on a biweekly basis now just because there's so much movement, and how do we position ourselves as an institution and as a conference to take advantage of this new model?
We were at JU Florida Baseball Tuesday. Alex came on and really said almost exactly you did about whether or not to opt in to the new plan. I want you to explain it better than I can. May not do it the first year, have to do it the second year. Is that where everybody in mid-majors feels? I mean, he almost echoed your comment. Is that where you guys all will land, you think?
There's some conferences that already started coming out saying we're going to opt in as an entire conference.
Okay.
And there's some that say we're all opting out.
Yeah. Okay.
And then there's some in the middle. I think there's going to be a lot more at our level that are going to be in the middle. Like, we'll probably release a statement soon that's going to say it's going to be an institution-by-institution decision.
Yeah.
Because you got private schools that depend on athlete enrollment. Well, all of a sudden, if you opt in, you have to cut your roster sizes down. Does that make sense for that institution? For us, it's not an impact for us. We're not so dependent, and our roster size really doesn't adjust too much from where we're at today. And so in our league alone, I think there's only going to be 2 schools that opt in year one based on what we're hearing and discussing. Some will, I don't think, ever opt in in our conference.
So it's not all the same.
No, and then there's going to be some that are going to wait a year and then opt in, and we certainly at UNF are going to do that.
Yeah, I think what Alex was saying, lacrosse is this big thing, right?
That's right.
I think he said there's like the roster limit is 48. He's got like 60 or something like that.
That's a perfect example.
Yeah.
It's the private school model. You have these big roster sports to boost your overall enrollment.
That's right.
Lacrosse is men's and women's lacrosse, rowing, those type that you can carry huge roster, boost up enrollment.
Yeah.
But now all of a sudden you can't do that.
Yeah.
And so that's concerning from the private school side of things.
What are some things that colleges, and maybe college as a whole, the landscape of college athletics, what are some things they can do to gain more revenue in this new era besides, I mean, obviously expanding the NCAA tournament, I would think might be one.
Might be.
But are there some other things that would, like the College World Series, all of a sudden go to 16 teams go to Omaha? How would that work?
Yeah, they did sign a new TV contract for a lot of the sports, which is going to produce more revenue for the NCAA as a whole. I think the NCAA tournament is going to be real interesting to watch because I think that's what they're evaluating. Do they actually generate enough revenue to worth doing it? Because there's more expenses because you're going to need another Dayton to do some more and what are those costs and what does that look like? And you have to do it on the women's side. You're not just doing it for the men's basketball tournament side. I think from an institution by institution standpoint, what about corporate patches on jerseys? Right now, that's not allowed.
Okay.
Like the NBA did that, right? That, I think, is going to be the next domino to fall to be able to produce more revenue. They just allowed this year the corporate logos on football fields. Well, they generate a lot more revenue off of that. And so that'll be one to watch because I think that's an easy one that you could put some parameters around that could generate a ton of revenue because think about the exposure you would get from a corporate logo on a jersey for especially the Power 4 programs. But even for us, I could.
Well, every game's on TV now. Right? I mean, every game that everybody plays, if you count the streaming services, ESPN Plus, every game's on TV.
Not to mention all the social media posts of them in their jerseys, our plays, our highlights, all that stuff. It's a lot of exposure.
Boy, it really is. Boy, you have a great understanding of that, and you clear it up for our people a lot. Final thing. Where are you going to be? Are you going to be like hiding out? If it's 71-71, 4.8, where are you going to be? I want to know where he's going to be. I want to watch him. I'm not even watching
right there at the edge of the bench. Yeah, I want to be Where's Waldo. If you want to keep following me, I won't be on the move because I can't sit still during games like this, but I'll be on the move, and I'll probably be a lot more watching than engaging with other folks in the building this time.
I think Marl, the AD at UNF. Thanks, Dick. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Hays has headlines on the other side. Stay with us.
The Frangie Show from the Harrell and Harrell studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
A symphony of sweat, grit, and glory. Dive into the action and live the moments. For play-by-play, it's 1010XL.
Hi, folks. I'm Frank Frangie. If you have a sweet tooth like me, the sweetest desserts in town come from Spoonful Bakery. Spoonful is an online bakery. They deliver boxes of assorted desserts right to your home or office. They're so good, and they make for great gifts for friends or clients. And if you want custom orders, wedding cakes or birthday cakes, or catered desserts for an event, they are the best. Log on to spoonful-bakery.com or call them at 904-515-4984. That's Spoonful Bakery for the sweetest desserts in town.
You've probably heard the saying, it's not how hard you get hit, it's whether or not you get back up. Well, I'm attorney Brett Hastings, and I have a saying of my own. If you get hit with a personal injury or wrongful death, hit back and fight to make them pay. At Hastings Injury Law, we have the experience you want if you or a loved one suffer a car or trucking accident or wrongful death. Just call 904-HIT-BACK and we'll help you get up and hit back. Office is Jacksonville.
Mia here. You want to know what I'm so over? Resolutions. You want to know what I am into? The revolution, hitting the road in a new Toyota from Arlington Toyota. So what do you say? Join the Arlington Toyota revolution and save big with financing as low as 0% on select new models. Or get up to $8,500 off select new Toyotas. Plus, every new Toyota purchase from Arlington Toyota comes with Arlington's lifetime warranty and 60-day exchange. Shop in person on Atlantic Boulevard, just a quarter mile east of 295 or at arlingtontoyota.com. Visit arlingtontoyota.com/0% for full details.
Are you embarrassed by your ugly, cracked concrete driveway? Stop by Stone Core on Phillips Highway for all your outdoor living needs. Let them show you how a durable paver driveway can enhance your home. Visit stonecore.co. We do outdoors better.
Dan Hicken and Jeff Prosser start the week by giving the ball to the best back in Duval.
And off, Fred Taylor.
Monday morning running back with Fred Taylor is fueled by Epstein & Robbins DUI Defense Firm and Monahan Jewelers on 1010XL.
This is Daytona, the awe-inspiring spectacle of Supercross, and the most challenging course to witness the air-catching, adrenaline-pumping, heart-pounding action unlike any other race in Florida. Daytona Supercross. The biggest names battle it out under the lights at the World Center of Racing. Don't miss it. The gate drops Saturday, March 1st. Secure your tickets and trackside access today at DaytonaInternationalSpeedway.com.
These days, we do everything from our phones. That's why JEA's app lets you manage your utility services anytime, anywhere. Whether you want to view your account, pay your bill, sign up for programs, or check the outage map, you can do it all right from the app, when and where it's convenient for you. Because we want to make doing business with us as quick and easy as possible. Download the free JEA app from the App Store today. JEA, your community, your utility.
I'm with Greg from Cycles of Jacksonville, and Triumph has gone off-road. And Greg, you got something really cool coming up this Saturday.
This Saturday, we're going to be out at North Florida Motocross Track from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. with the new Triumph 250 and 450 ready to ride.
Triumph's been on-road forever, but now they're off-road.
They are off-road. It's a championship bike built by Ricky Carmichael, and it is bad to the bone.
I got to love it. Got to see it. Check it out. Triumph Off-Road. All the details are on Cycles of Jacksonville's Facebook page.
Hey, gang, Prosser here. Are you ready to sell your home? I got an easy game plan. Call Chad and Sandy, the only agents I would call to sell my home. The economy is showing positive signs. It might be time to sell, and your home will get you the price you want with Chad and Sandy. It's easy to find out. Get friendly expert help from the Jacksonville agents who eat, drink, and sleep local real estate. Call agents Chad and Sandy Newman. Maybe you're worried about costly repairs or upgrades needed to sell your home. Guess what? You don't need to. No required costly repairs. Pick your move date. There are no long-term contracts, and you can cancel at any time. But it comes down to the Chad and Sandy guarantee. Your home sold at an agreed-upon price and deadline, or they will buy it. All problems have disappeared. Pete Lakeshore says, I was in a pickle. I needed to cash out on a rental property fast. I was struggling to rent. I heard Chad and Sandy on the radio, called. I had an offer for full asking price within days. Join the local success stories by calling Chad and Sandy at 904-414-6200 or going to chadandsandy.com.
Clean air, cool air, both are extremely important. Trust Florida Home AC to deliver on both with their Remy Halo, the next generation of air quality technology. Call 777-4300 for Florida Home AC and breathe clean and cool air.
We're certainly facing interesting economic times. For me, it's comforting to know my money's in good hands with ITP Partners. Jacksonville guys taking care of my Jacksonville money. Experience? Yeah, that's Chris Bryan, Jeff Hartman, Reagan Wright, Dan Abel, Scott Regner, Janice Cobb, and Reed Wingate. They have the expertise and knowledge to take care of your money. For more info, go to itppartners.com. ITP Partners, they're my financial partners for life.
Non-compensated client testimonial may not be representative of all client experiences. No guarantee of future performance or success.
The housing market is as busy as ever on the First Coast. And if you've moved in or moved on, make sure you have a team of trained electricians ready to help. American Electrical can make sure you're up to date electrically and maximize your living experience. Smart home automation services, home theater systems, outdoor and dock lighting, and backup generators. American Electrical can do it all. A team you can trust with highly trained technicians ensuring you have the best living experience. American-Electrical.com, a leader on the First Coast and powered by professionalism.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please? Gather round. It's Hays' Headlines, presented by Harrell & Harrell. Don't settle for less than you deserve. Hear all about it. Here's Hays Carlyon.
All right, welcome back to the Frangie Show. Thank you to our friends at Harrell & Harrell. Hopefully you won't need them, but if you're ever injured, give them a call at 251-1111. Frank, we're going to start with the Jaguars GM search. The team announced it completed an in-person interview with Chicago Assistant General Manager Ian Cunningham last night, right after we went off the air. Today, the team announced they have completed an in-person interview with John Eric Sullivan from the Green Bay Packers.
Yeah, I tell you, I sound like a broken record. I keep saying the same thing over and over, but I'll stand by my opinion on this. I think it's a really good list of candidates. I do. I don't think anybody's ahead. I don't think they've wink agreed to a deal with someone like so many folks on social media want to tell you. I think this. I really believe these 3 days really matter. And I think if someone blows their socks off, they got a good chance to be the Jaguars general manager because it's a really good group, and I really do believe that.
I'm going to make you the Jaguars general manager for a minute.
That would be the move.
Here we go.
Okay?
That is the move.
I'm just saying.
Should the Jaguars extend Trayvon Walker this offseason?
Yes. And without a doubt they should, because it's hard to find pass rushers, and there's enough there that indicates he's going to be a very good one. He's had back-to-back double-digit sack seasons. He's got an incredible motor. He can be used a lot of different ways. He can actually be used inside more than they have so far. He's a great teammate. And let me say it again, it's hard to find pass rushers. That, to me, is a no-brainer.
Yeah, I agree. I would do it as well, and I would think
see what a good GM I'd be.
Yeah,
I mean, right out of the gate, you can see that.
You've got my vote.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's get it to ESPN's Dan Graziano had an interesting story a couple days ago. It was basically on a cap casualty potential for every team in the NFL. So when Graziano got to the Jaguars, he talked about Christian Kirk. What interested me and kind of raised my eyebrow a little bit, Graziano said he believes there's a 75% chance the Jaguars cut Christian Kirk. I think that's way too high.
Yeah, I would really hate to see that. I say it all the time. And listen, you and I have this, Hays, you and I have this talk on the air and off the air. Since you've become an NFL beat guy, you've studied and understood the capology better than I have. You have a good kind of just a knack for it. I don't have a great knack for it. So I probably am not the best person to talk about what's the best cap smart decision. I'm just not. But I can tell you this, it's hard to find good players. And it's hard to find good players that really connect with your quarterback and really connect in your locker room and really connect in your community and really want to be here. And Christian Kirk is all those things. He's a really good player. And you don't have enough good players to move on from a good player because we'll just go get another one in the draft. It doesn't work like that. I hope they don't. I think Christian Kirk is a very important part of this team, and I hope they don't move on. I very passionately hope they don't move on from him.
Yeah, I agree. Graziano did couch it a bit by saying, look, they don't even have a GM, but this is sort of his gut feeling. So we'll see. I think 75% chance is too high. I think Christian Kirk is on this roster, but we will see what the new GM and Liam Cohen decide to do, along with Tony Baselli and Shad Khan. The Athletic did their 50 under 40 list in the NFL. Jags coach Liam Cohen made the list. This is the most influential people in the NFL, coaches, executives, media personalities that are under the age of 40. So Liam Cohen checked in. He's 39. Also on the list, Ian Cunningham, also 39, who's in the race to be the GM. He is joined by the other GM candidates, or at least a couple of them. James Gladstone with the Rams, Josh Williams with the 49ers, Jaguars offensive coordinator Grant Udisky is also on the list. So again, keeping with the theme of the Jaguars have looked for the up-and-coming best minds in professional football.
What you just read is the best description of what they are. A bunch of really highly regarded young up-and-comers. And now you hope you have a mix of enough veteran presence with them. You hope the fact that many of them are, whoever the GM is, if it's one of those guys, and Udinski, and Campanile, and Liam Cohen as a head coach, have never done it before. So you hope that lack of experience doesn't rear its head, but I don't think it will. That, what you read, Hays, is a very good microcosm of what they are, a very good explanation of what they are, and that's a team of really highly regarded young professionals in their industry. It really is.
Let's get into college football. USC and Texas are foregoing spring games, joining Nebraska and Florida State. So this is becoming a trend.
I hate it. Matthew Driscoll asked us about that in his segment because he noticed it as well. I hate it. I think there's a sense of responsibility to your fans who you ask for so much money. We ask you to pay so much for tickets. We ask you for so many booster donations. We ask you to do so much in the community. Now we're asking you for all this NIL money. It's expensive to be a college football fan with a good seat. It may not be quite as expensive to sit in the rafters and go to 2 or 3 games, but if you're one of the ones that funds that program, you're asking a lot of your fans. I think just the opposite. I'd go a step further and have teams play each other in the spring. I've always said that. I hate that they're not playing spring games. I think it's a mistake. It's a trend that I hope doesn't last very long. I don't like it at all, and I hate it for the fans.
Do you think there's any sense of this? I mean, we've heard different reasons. Florida State said, I think it was something with the stadium's not really ready. Yeah. Nebraska coach Matt Rule just said basically, look, I don't want other teams to come get our players. I don't want them having an evaluation tool. Texas, USC, different reasons there. But do you think there's this part of let's gauge the interest in the market for this so they can introduce down the road maybe an inter-squad game where there is at least some ticket price, maybe even if it's $50 a pop? To see if it can be another revenue generator?
I'd love them to do that, and I'd love to think this is a test case, but I don't think so. I think what I'm being told and what I've heard from people in the college landscape is that Matt Rule's the one that told the truth, and that is that there's a real concern in the marketplace that teams are using those spring game tapes to go poach players, and that May portal is the reason they're not playing those games. Look, no matter how much you know what someone does, those spring games are on TV. I mean, so are the replays and the replay, all of it. That's all over television. And I think if Florida really wanted to get a look at Elijah Badger, go watch the Arizona State spring game. That's when you could really see him, and then go get him. I think Matt Rule's the one. I don't even know what Texas and USC said why. I don't know what FSU said why. But Matt Rule told the truth. It's too easy to go see my players, and that's why they're not doing it. And I hate it.
ESPN did an interesting story involving their preseason top 25 teams and said, what was the best portal addition that these teams made in the window that just recently closed? For Florida, who is 18th in this ESPN way too early top 25, they said Florida's best addition in the portal was former UCLA receiver J. Michael Sturdivant. The redshirt senior has 123 career catches for 1,667 yards and 13 touchdowns.
It's not even close. I mean, Florida only signed 5 guys. One's a punter, right? I mean, one's a defensive end from UMass who didn't play against big-time competition. That's the easiest pick in America. The one guy they got that have a really good feel can be an impact player is the guy that played in the Big Ten and caught a bunch of passes and can be the next Chimere Dike, Ricky Pearsall, Elijah Badger. So I don't know that if the UMass pass rusher is good, that'd be awesome. But we don't know about guys like that. Now listen, Jared Verse came from Albany. He turned out to be pretty good. So you can come play at a small school and turn out to be good, but you're untested. Obviously the receiver from UCLA is very tested and very good.
Let's get to college basketball. We've got the Rumble Part 2 tonight. We're here at UNF. JU at UNF. The Dolphins are 10-5 in ASUN play, while the Ospreys are 7-8. What are some keys tonight for both teams?
I think the most important aspect of the game, and I hate to say this, is an injury. Steph Payne, I don't think is going to play for JU. Their 6'10 center, who's a really good best rim protector, best rebounder, best true inside guy. And the one Achilles heel UNF has had, Hayes, are other teams with good inside players. Josh Harris is a good inside player for UNF, but the rest of their guys are perimeter guys. And I think that's a big factor in the game is not having Steph Payne. So how does JU defend it? And if JU can't out rebound them, it's going to be hard. Matthew Driscoll said on our show earlier, the team that wins the rebounding battle is going to win the game. Well, I'll translate that for you. If UNF wins the rebound battle, they are going to win the game because they're also going to win the three battle. If JU wins the rebound battle and defends, then they win the game. But UNF's going to win the outside stuff. So if you win the rebounds, that means you also won the inside stuff. And so I think it's a critical. I think Matthew's right. It's a critical part of the game tonight.
A lot of action last night of interest. Number 15, Missouri, upset fourth-ranked Alabama at home, 110-98. The Tigers shot 60.3% for the game to improve to 20-6 overall and 9-4 in SEC play. The Crimson Tide fell to 10-3 in conference play, which now means Florida is tied with Bama for second place, 2 games back of top-ranked Auburn.
Hayes, they scored 59 points in the first half. I was watching some of that. They couldn't miss. Missouri's pretty good.
Yeah.
Missouri's the best team in the country that nobody thinks might be among the elite. Nobody has them down as maybe one of the good teams. They're pretty good. And so, ask Florida. They lost to them. Alabama's lost to them. Alabama's got that brutal schedule down the stretch, so it'll be interesting to see how the Tide holds up.
Without a doubt, yeah. At the time, Missouri's win at Florida was sort of considered a bad loss for the Gators. You look up today, Missouri is 13th in the net ranking.
Yeah, and I'll say this. It felt like a bad loss to people that didn't watch the game. If you watched the game like you and I kind of did, it was not a bad loss because you could tell they were good. Remember, we talked about that the next day.
Absolutely.
You could tell they were pretty good. You really could.
Rick Pitino's 10th-ranked St. John's squad won again, thrashing DePaul 82-58 on the road. The Red Storm are 23-4 overall and 14-2 in the Big East. I'm sorry. I know you guys probably don't care about St. John's, but, I am so charmed by 72-year-old Rick Pitino taking a school that when I was a kid was a power in college basketball, and you haven't heard anything about St. John's since the mid-'80s. And here they are. They're going to be a big factor in the tournament.
Well, the Frangie Show's adopted them. Yeah. So I was going to say, if you're a listener to this show and you don't like them, that's not good news because we're going to tell you about them on a regular basis. I agree with you. I still say the most I probably ever enjoyed college basketball, other than the Gators, because that's my team. So I enjoyed all the Gator runs the most, but not counting the Gator great runs, the mid-'80s Big East. I'll say it again for people that weren't around for it. St. John's and Georgetown and Villanova and UConn and Providence and Syracuse and Seton Hall. They had like 7 elite programs. It was like the SEC in football, man. They had like, you remember it.
Oh, yeah.
They had like 7, maybe 8 programs that could win the national title. There's really, in football, other than the SEC, there's not a lot of teams. The ACC's probably got 2 that could win a national title, Clemson, FSU, maybe Miami. Most schools. The Big East had 7, maybe 8 teams that could have won the national title. It was fun to watch. So I remember those St. John's years.
Because, if Pitino was at Kansas State, right, I don't think I'd care.
I agree.
It's really
even if they were really good.
Right. I just don't think I care. It's the fact that he's doing it at St. John's.
I agree with you.
That I think makes it such an unbelievable story. Let's get to the NBA. Victor Wembanyama out for the season with a blood clot in his shoulder. The 21-year-old Wemby is averaging 24.3 points per game and 11 rebounds per game. He also leads the league in blocks at 3.8 per game for the Spurs, who are 23-29.
It's technically called deep vein thrombosis. Now, if it's a blood clot, that's very serious. I don't want to make light of a blood clot. But I've got to believe part of that is the whole load management thing, too. If they're fighting for a playoff spot, I don't get the sense they shut him down, and I don't know that. Because we talked about it, joked about it yesterday, I've got to believe that's in play. I just have to.
Are the Spurs tanking for Thomas Houck?
Yeah, yes, the first overall pick. Forget Cooper Flagg. It's Houck Nation, bruh.
That's right. Let's get to Major League Baseball. Vlad Guerrero Jr. couldn't work out a deal with the Blue Jays meaning he will become a free agent in November. What'd you think of that?
He will be a really sought-after free agent. He is a bomber. He's thicker than his dad. His dad was an outfielder that could run. He's a big, thick first baseman. But in the age of launch angle and home runs, he's all the rage. He will be as hot a free agent as there is on the market next year.
Angel superstar Mike Trout says he's going to move to right field to help with the injury. Smart?
Yeah. What is he, 32, 33?
Something like that.
Yeah, it makes sense. He's a really weird. It's going to be a shame because Mike Trout's career is going to end and no one saw him play. I mean, baseball fans did, but Mike Trout, who was a great player, maybe not be anymore, but Mike Trout was a great player. I mean, 3 or 4 years the best player in the sport. Nobody's ever going to see him play. It's really a shame. As much as I rail against the baseball improprieties, it's really a shame he didn't find his way to the Yankees or the Dodgers or the Red Sox or somebody. It really, I mean, he's from New Jersey. It's a shame he didn't land in the East with the Red Sox or the Yankees. I really feel that way.
Yeah. What'd you make of Red Sox third baseman Rafael Devers saying he's not moving for new addition Alex Bregman?
Yeah, well, first of all, Cora said that's not up to him.
Yeah.
So it's a pompous, entitled baseball player who doesn't get to choose that. That's what I think. He's under contract, and if they tell him he's the DH, he's the DH. That's what I think. It's just it's bad on the sport. You don't decide what you play. You're told what you play, and I didn't like it at all. And by the way, Bregman's a way better third baseman than Devers. Way better. Now, Bregman, my guess is to satiate him or to satisfy him, Bregman will probably play second, and he'll stay. Devers will stay at third. But shut up and play where you're told to play. That's what I think of that.
Absolutely. Let's get into pop culture as well as our music of the day. We're dedicating this one to our good friend Lauren Brooks, who is a diehard Goonie. Yes, a Goonies sequel is officially in the works 40 years after the original film hit theaters and made $125 million on a $19 million budget. Steven Spielberg is producing. No plot details or director yet, but certainly fans of the original will be curious where this sequel goes. This is Cyndi Lauper's song Good Enough from the first Goonies movie.
I got to tell you, when you said we're gonna attribute this to our friend, in honor of our friend Lauren Brooks, I said, in the first time of headlines, are we going to have a country song? Okay. We still don't. Yeah. We still don't. Okay. Yeah. So, but Lauren and Brian are coming tonight to the ball game. So I'm sure if she's listening now, she will tell you she appreciates the honor and the mention with Goonies. Goonies are great. I never saw it. I never
Goonies
planned to
too.
see it.
They've got my money.
Yeah.
I don't know how good it'll be, but they've got my money.
Do me a favor. Tell me how it was. And I'll be happy you did that. We'll take a break and wrap the program after this.
It's the ride home with the Frangie Show from the Harold and Harold studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
This is Brent Musburger's Visa in Action update on 1010XL. Brought to you by Duck Duck Rooter Plumbing, Septic, and Air Conditioning. When you're stuck, call the Duck. Proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
The NHL's mid-season tournament, the Four Nation Face-Off, concludes on Thursday in Boston when the United States takes on Canada. The U.S. beat Canada in the round-robin portion of the tournament on Saturday 3-1. And they're a goal-and-a-half favorite, plus 220 on the puck line, while Canada getting a goal-and-a-half, minus 325. On the money line, both the United States and Canada are minus 110. The over-under goal total for Thursday night is 5.5, with the over at plus 110 and the under minus 130. The United States will be without defenseman Charlie McAvoy. The Boston Bruin is out with an upper body injury. Earn cash back on your gaming transactions with the GBank Signature Visa Card at vsin.com/GBank. I'm Tony Desiri with your Visa in Action update on 1010XL.
Hon, who'd you call to fix our plumbing issue?
I forget their name. They said they do plumbing work.
Then what's that big thing they're driving?
Looks like a grease truck.
Grease truck?
To pump the grease traps.
You wouldn't call a landscaper to floor your home, so why call a grease trap company for a plumbing issue? Duck Duck Rooter is your certified plumbing contractor, specializing in all things plumbing. Get Jacksonville's real plumbing pros. Visit duckduckrooter.com, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Lauren Brooks here. At Hodges Mazda, they are proud of their solid reputation in the Jacksonville community. As your hometown Mazda dealer, their high customer service standards and their huge inventory of new and used cars provide their customers a consistently first-rate car buying experience. Their professional non-commissioned sales team puts your best interest first without exception. And all new vehicle purchases include the Hodges Mazda Protection Package. Visit them online at HodgesMazda.com or stop in today to learn more and discover the Hodges Mazda difference.
This is head coach Matthew Driscoll from the UNF men's basketball team. When our players suffer an orthopedic injury, Southeast Orthopedic Specialists gets our players back on the court pain-free.
We appreciate the endorsements from our high school and college coaches. This is Dr. Kevin Murphy. Next time you need orthopedic care, you can rely on our team at Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
Relieve pain and get back to life. Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
Hey, Jacksonville, I'm sure by now you've seen our bright green GFL trucks and containers throughout the greater Jacksonville area. We are an industry leader in solid waste and would love the opportunity to earn your business. We are committed to customer service, reliability, and have unwavering focus on safety. Whether commercial or construction, let us haul your waste away. Call 904-760-5880 to get a quote today. GFL, green for life.
A hardworking student athlete deserves recognition.
Catch the Southeast Orthopedic Specialist Scholar Athlete of the Week. Brought to you by the Plumbers and Pipefitters Local Union 234. Wednesdays on the Frangie Show.
On 1010XL.
Are you 18 years or older, just got married, just got divorced, or have children? Listen up. Have you done your last will and estate planning? If you have questions, call Matt Hinson with the Hinson Law Firm. Reach him at 527-1700. Office is Jacksonville, Florida. And don't let the state decide your fate.
Bull riding. The perfect fusion of strength, skill, and pure willpower. Professional bull riders aren't just athletes. They're daredevils with cowboy souls. Come experience the true modern West, where 8 seconds of glory will create a lifetime of memories. It's the Michelob Ultra PBR Jacksonville at ViStar Veterans Memorial Arena, February 22nd and 23rd. Tickets available at Ticketmaster.com and PBR.com. Hold on tight. The ride of your life is about to begin.
Hacker here, thinking I did something spectacular, dropping 123 pounds. But then Steve pops in and dropped a whopping 150 pounds with Awaken 180 weight loss.
I got started because I was sick and tired of just being sick and tired all the time. Wanted more from life, and I knew that at my size, I wasn't being who I could be, who I want to be for not only myself, but for my wife. And I was like, something has got to change, and it's got to start soon. I mean, the program is so easy. Everything is really written down for you on your first day. Having someone there to help you and also keep you accountable, just having that someone to talk to, and even the fact that Awaken 180 offers free maintenance for life is amazing, because keeping the weight off is a lifetime commitment.
A lifetime commitment is what you'll receive with Awaken 180. 25 pounds like Dempsey, 40 pounds like Matt Hays, or maybe it's over 100 pounds like Steve and me. Awaken 180 will get you there online at awaken180weightloss.com.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $200-$300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code LOCAL to get an extra 35 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code LOCAL for a 35 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code LOCAL for a 35 cents per gallon bonus.
Don't miss the Players' Championship, March 11th through 16th at TPC Sawgrass. This can't-miss event features a variety of activities for every fan to enjoy, from delicious bites to the Sawgrass Splash. There are endless fan enhancements that will make for a memorable experience. Plus, watch the top PGA Tour players, including back-to-back champion Scottie Scheffler, take on the iconic stadium course featuring the famous Island Green. Tickets available at the theplayers.com.
Pizza to Tea here, and Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here it's bigger game days and bolder fight nights. I mean, where else can you find the scratch kitchen that comes through in the clutch every day, from lunch to late night? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar. Come on, somebody.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555, Jacksonville. Now, the cool down with Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing, keeping Jack's cool since 1987.
All right, we've been a fan of the program. We've had a good show today. We want to thank our friend Matthew Driscoll. Started the show right at the top with us, talking about the game tonight. He's the head coach at UNF, as you know. JU and UNF battle in the Rumble, and I can't wait to watch it. It comes up tonight at 8 o'clock. Lee Smith, the executive director of the Players Championship, stopped by as well to talk about the players. That's right around the corner. He even gave away some cool stuff. And of course, Nick Morrow, our buddy and regular show member, the AD here at UNF, really good guy. And he really certainly understands the house settlement and what that means to so many.
These schools like UNF and JU, they're getting pushed around.
They really are.
I mean, it's ridiculous.
And mid-majors everywhere are. We're biased to those two, but mid-majors everywhere are getting pushed. But you're exactly right about that. So that has been that's where we've been over the course of the show today. I'll be here. I think you're going to probably be here too, so we won't be able to watch it. But how much interest do you have in the USA-Canada game tonight? Little, right?
The most I've ever had for a hockey game.
Yeah, I mean,
it's a solid 4.
Yeah,
out of 10.
Me too.
No, I mean, I think the patriotism element of it, certainly makes it exciting, and based on how the last game went, how could you not want to watch it as a sports fan? So I won't watch it live, but but I will watch it.
If I was at home, I'd watch it.
Oh yeah,
if I was at home, I'd watch this thing live. I really would. So. No, I'm excited about it. I'm looking forward to hearing about it. Again, if it wasn't for the Rumble, I'd sit home and that would be an appointment viewing for me. I mean, it really would. Don't know any of the players. Don't know much about hockey. I don't follow it, but I'd follow and I'd root and it's kind of funny because hockey is so nerve-wracking. If you really are rooting, if your team's down 1, up 1. The empty net, the whole bit, all the culture of late game hockey in a close game, particularly playoff hockey, which is what this will feel like, is pretty nerve-wracking. It really is. It's really, so I would watch it and I'd be nervous. I don't know why, because I haven't earned the right to be nervous. I don't watch enough hockey to have earned that, but I probably would be. So I'd probably pay attention to that tonight if it was me. Jaguars will finish we would imagine, and again, I haven't heard that. We just know they've released that they've interviewed the 3 so far, Josh Williams, Ian Sullivan, and today John Eric Sullivan. They're Ian Cunningham, and John Eric Sullivan today. They are interviewing James Gladstone. I'm assuming it's today. I don't know. And they are interviewing Ethan Waugh. I'm going to guess that that's tomorrow. But by tomorrow afternoon, we'll have an idea of. And my guess is, I said it earlier, I've been saying it the whole time, my guess is they'll finish these interviews and then they'll decide. I mean, again, I don't think they're going to need 4 or 5 days to mull it over.
No, they don't have it.
And that too. And that there is a deadline. There is a deadline. There's a true deadline in 8 days, but there's a get to the combine deadline in about 3 days. So I'm imagining that's how it'll play out.
Yeah, I would think we'll know in the next 48 hours. It'll be really exciting, and it will be interesting to see moving forward. I think for this year at the combine, the Jaguars it'll be standard operating procedure. Everybody's going to go. But it will be interesting because of the McVay influence.
Yeah.
If, in 2026, once they're settled, particularly if they have a strong first year, let's say they go 10-7 and maybe make the playoffs or even better, it'll be interesting to see if, as they evaluate it, they view it as we don't really need to be there.
Right.
Liam and some of maybe the GM.
Right.
I'll be interested in seeing if the trend that McVay kind of started comes over to the Jaguars as well.
Yeah, and by the way, when you say trend, he doesn't go. That's what you're talking about. McVay, what Hays is talking about is Sean McVay doesn't personally go to the combine. He's got people there, but he doesn't personally go, so we'll see whether or not Liam Cohen winds up doing that as well. You made an interesting point. We haven't talked Gator basketball today because we've had all this other. But with Alabama's loss last night, they're now tied for second. And Alabama's got a brutal schedule.
Totally brutal. They host Kentucky, host Mississippi State, go to Tennessee, host Florida, and go to Auburn.
Wow.
That's their final 5. They could go 0-5.
Yeah.
I don't think they will.
But they
certainly could go 3-2.
Yeah, right.
And if Florida goes 4-1, which I think they're going to do,
yeah,
then Florida would be ahead of Alabama, which would put them in great position for the 2 seed.
Yeah, if you're the 2 now. How does the SEC tournament work? I've only watched that 100 years, but
right.
Who gets bye?
The top 4 get the double bye.
The 4 get the double bye.
Yeah, so that's really the main thing.
So and they're going to have the double bye.
It looks that way now.
They'd have to mess that up.
I think they'd have to probably come in at 2-3, maybe, for that to be in play. A lot of it depends on what A&M and Missouri do, but A&M still has to play. They just lost at Mississippi State. A&M still has to play home against Tennessee, home against Vandy, at Florida, home against Auburn, and at LSU. So of their final 5, 4 very tough games. So, again, I think when you look at Florida, I think Florida wins at LSU. I think they win at Georgia. And then between home against A&M, at Bama, and home against Ole Miss, I think they'll go 2-1.
All right.
So I think Florida will finish 4-1.
Now, listen. One of the best things about the Gators is they're deep. They're deep. It's depth. I'm always wondering if the Frangie Show's deep. Okay?
That's right.
If there's any depth. What if I told you we're adding depth to the bench?
Love it.
How would you feel if I told you that?
Well, like Shad said, we're lean.
We're lean, but we're about to add significant. We're about to go.
We're getting Arbaselli.
Well, we're about to go into the free agent market and spend all our money. I'll explain in a minute. Let's say hello to Hacker Nation.
Now, the 2-minute drill. Serviced by Cool Cats Heating and Cooling. Locally owned and operated. We're your neighbors. Find the coolest cats in town at coolcatsjacks.com.
Hays, we're adding a former member of the Frangie Show. You bring them back. You bring Willie Mays back.
That's right.
You bring Koufax back.
Yeah.
Hacker Nation is now going to join our show when one of us is gone. Moving forward. Can you believe it? How good is that?
That's great.
That's just good as that. Hacker joins the Hack. How you doing, buddy?
Guys, I'm good. How are you?
Good. It's going to be fun having you kind of hang out with us some this spring and summer, Hack. I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, no, I'm excited about it. Absolutely. Look forward to the opportunity to hang out with you guys. And, we'll have a good time this off season.
Doesn't start until tomorrow. Okay, so
yeah,
we don't waste any time around here, Hack.
Well, at least you guys gave me a lot of warning heading into tomorrow's broadcast.
I kind of called him last night. Hey, yeah, Frank, no problem. When's it start? Well, a couple days. Okay,
yeah.
so
you'll be fine. We're going to talk Jaguars and Gators basketball.
Yeah, you'll probably know that, Hack. You'll probably be okay. Hack. So what do you think? What's your guess? Who's your guess the general manager is going to be? What's your guess?
Look, I'm 55-45 Gladstone. I like a lot of the things you said yesterday about the connection with the Rams. It's interesting. And again, I just put this on social media 10 minutes ago. I said, as a Jaguar fan, who do you want as a general manager, Ian Cunningham or James Gladstone? Because I think those are the two leaders right now. 150 votes, 74% of those 150 want James Gladstone, which is a complete change from at least the thought I had that most of the fan base was infatuated with Ian Cunningham just a couple of days ago.
Yeah, interesting stuff. Well, and I will tell you this, and I told Hays this at the top of the program. I've been saying this for 2-3 weeks, so this isn't new. But I've really been saying it since they announced finalists. I think the interviews are real, Hack. I think they're not to placate. So if anybody comes in here, if any of these 5 and blow everybody away in that interview, I think whoever that is has a chance to be the next Jaguars GM. So I picked Gladstone. If I had to guess, that's who I still would guess it's going to be. But I think they're all 5 in play. I believe, and I'll believe that until it's done. So what's coming up on your show tonight, bro?
Yeah, we're going to talk, obviously, a lot of Jaguar talk, as we always do, but a little college basketball. Mike DeCourcy of the Sporting News. He's also the bracketologist for Fox Sports. We're going to get him on, kind of a national perspective at what's going on, not only with Florida, but with the SEC. And Jeff Kerr, CBSSports.com, he put out his free agent primer. That's a big story for Jeff on CBS. He goes all 32 teams, lists all their free agents, all their cap room. It's a good read. We're going to have Jeff joining us tonight here on Hacker After Dark.
I know those interviews will be great on the show. They always are. Hack, thanks, buddy.
Thanks, guys.
All right, Hacker Nation. And again, Hacker will be with Hays tomorrow. I'll be gone tomorrow. And
have fun. Have a great weekend.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that. You guys have fun. You and Hack have a good time. I'll be back next week. We're out of here for tonight. The Rumble. I hope you're coming out to watch it. There's probably still some tickets available. UNF and JU, I love it. They've played 44 times, and they've both won 22, which is pretty cool stuff. It comes up tonight. We're out of here. Don't go anywhere. Hackers next. For Hays and JJ, I'm Frank Frangie. So long.
Frangie Show from the Harrell and Harrell studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
If you need an insurance agent, I'll recommend the best guy in town, State Farm agent Craig Dewhurst. Call him at 940